All right, we're live now. So, Rocketeers, a big hello to everyone. Welcome to the first webinar of our amazing Rocket Week, which has just started. Today, we have the best folks we could do a webinar with, and the platform that they have built is literally everyone needs, all right, to scale their outreach on LinkedIn. So, let's welcome Alex and Boz from Aimfox. Welcome, guys. Good to have you here. And thank you so much for taking out time from your busy schedule to be with the community and answer their questions, take them to this product and everything. So thank you so much and welcome.
Thank you for the intro. Thank you for the nice words, and looking forward to talking about Aimfox and figuring out how it can contribute to everybody that's looking to use it. So yeah,
Awesome.
pretty excited.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Happy to be here, guys.
Thanks, Boz. So, all right, folks, let's begin. Alex, if you can, let us know a short version of the history of why you chose LinkedIn as the platform to build an automation software for, and how has the journey been till now? And then we would get right into the product and we hand over to Boz. Let's do it.
Okay, sure. So I guess answering that question, like why we went into LinkedIn automation and why we decided to come out with this product, I guess the answer to that kind of lies with our history and what we've been doing before this. So we've been as a company in the automation space for quite some while now. Basically, since like 2017, we've been scaling different types of solutions on different social media platforms. Aimfox is something that we've been working very passionately on in the last for the last 2 years, basically 2 years and change. And it's something that we dedicated considerable resources to. So on that note, we're like we have I was just doing the numbers last week, and currently we have 42 people working full time just on Aimfox. So this is something that we're heavily invested in, something that we've been developing hard, and yeah, something that we think is that we see already is bringing on substantial value to its users. So as you know, we've recently launched the public version, basically April. We've had a beta launched earlier, which is basically just us testing and fixing. And yeah, now the product is at a state where it's doing very well. And yeah, I think LinkedIn is an awesome place to be, especially when it comes to like B2B sales. And I think that there is a lot of potential there, not only for actual B2B businesses, but also for the marketers that are working with such businesses to help them achieve results, like measurable results. So yeah, I think that's kind of where Aimfox fits in.
Oh man, that's a good piece of history, and that even brings more trust to the project because of course you guys know automation for social in and out. So Aimfox is going to be another blockbuster product for everyone, and I think that you're going to take the whole market by storm because there are not many companies who do this. So everyone depends upon you guys and the other people to kind of make it happen. So thank you so much, and let's get to the meat right now. Let's get to the software, Boz. Everything to you. So I think we are looking forward to the demo, and I think it's going to be crazy. So let's get into it. And we even have Charlie over here. So welcome, Charlie, to the meet.
Hey, Charlie.
Hey, Charlie.
Yo, what's up, guys? I'm lurking back here. I'm lurking back here, talking to people
in the shadows. Yeah.
Perfect. Hey guys, so my name is Božidar. I'm the product manager for Aimfox, meaning that if you ever have a question about Aimfox, anything that we're going to go through today after the demo, you can shoot me a DM on LinkedIn. I'm basically always available. Or you can just hit us up on the live chat. I actually do review the live chat from time to time as well. So you have a pretty direct link to chat with me directly if you have some feedback about the product, or God forbid something isn't working correctly. It's a fresh launch, even though we had a beta, and we're upgrading all the time. So like we're hands-on, all 42 people. So let me just share my screen, and then we can get started with that. Let me just see now the typical joys of screen share. Hold on me a second. All right. Apologies. I'll have to just rejoin the meeting in a second. We'll be back in just a bit.
We'll be waiting for you.
Perfect.
It's the usual
in
case of
meantime-
permissions.
Yep. Meantime, Alex, where is the team located? Where are you guys spread out?
So basically, I would say that the bulk of our team is located here where I'm sitting in our office in Serbia, in Europe. However, we do have quite a few members that are kind of like working remote, especially on like some marketing positions, customer support positions, just because like one of the aspects that we want to cover is like 24/7 customer support. So it kind of makes it more humane to have people in time zones where that kind of fits in. So we kind of try and get the most value out of it. So yeah, that's kind of
Nice.
I would say 80% is here, 20% is spread basically across.
Got it. That's interesting what I just heard in terms of wanting to give 24/7 support. That's not normal. That's not normal. So what's the logic behind that?
So the logic is basically, well, as I've said, like we kind of have experience being in this field of like social media automation. So we already have a lot of like procedures we've established on other projects we've worked on. One of those procedures is customer support. And we basically have a team that we've onboarded. We have like, team leads, customer support agents. So it was kind of a plug and play thing for us. We already have the whole infrastructure for 24/7 customer support. So yeah, that's something we've just are using as well on Aimfox.
Got it. For all those listening and for those that are going to watch this afterwards, just keep that in mind. You rarely come across mature companies like this that have 42 folks working on the product and 24/7 support. You're not going to get that in the LTD world. So thank you guys for joining us and giving us this opportunity. So go ahead, Bozy. I'll hand it back to you.
Perfect. Sorry for the downtime, guys, but I see you actually covered something that's actually very important and dear to us, which is customer support. And you can't develop a good product without good feedback. You can't get good feedback without good customer support. As for feedback, so one of the things that we really wanted to work hard with Aimfox is to actually have the UX be at a very, very high level, and to have it be a seamless experience when you're actually building out your campaigns. So when you get here, this should be very expected to everyone pretty much. When you get started with the product, initially you have to log in your LinkedIn account, and you don't really have much data to go off from. You get data by creating a campaign that is a automation subset, so to say, that works on a specific audience, and that executes a set of interactions on that audience in order to grow your network. Basically, what that means is you tell us who you want to target, and we target them for you, and then execute actions like connecting with them, sending them message requests, and engaging with them in other ways. So what sets Aimfox apart is that everything is very straightforward, and you don't have to worry too much about like micromanaging every single detail. I'll go over that just now. So you have a total of 5 campaign types right now. You can start off either from a LinkedIn search, which is actually inbuilt in Aimfox. You can select a LinkedIn post and then select engagers from that post. You can select an event you're attending or a group you're a member of. And of course, you can upload a fully custom list of LinkedIn URLs, either as a CSV or just paste it directly in the interface. But for now, let's stick to the standard search campaign, which is basically what everyone is expecting whenever they try to test something like this out. You can start off with the interface. You get to choose your campaign name. So let's say this is a RH test campaign, and you can choose what primary action the campaign is going to do. In this case, you can either send a connection request or you can skip the connection request entirely. So this is kind of weird. Why would you want to do that? you can actually send free in-mails to all open accounts that are part of this campaign. So if you just want to create an in-mail only campaign, you just send in-mails. So you turn off the primary action and you just send in-mails only. That's awesome if you want to make sure that all of your in-mails are being utilized, so up to their limit for your account. Unlike many other competitors, we don't lock you in just to a certain number of targets. You can actually choose how large the campaign is going to be. It's still capped at 1,000 for a LinkedIn search campaign, as that's simply the limit on LinkedIn. But you can choose to have a smaller campaign if you want to really narrow it down and create, let's say, multiple highly targeted campaigns instead of just the one. So you create your campaign. You are then faced with this screen, which is pretty much exactly what you expect from LinkedIn search. We have a few preset examples for you here, so let's start off with one of those. But this screen basically lets you, what it is, it's an advanced LinkedIn search. So you type in all kinds of keywords, and let's say UI, UX. Whenever you type something in, it becomes a keyword, and you can add additional filters like companies, or you can add followers of, schools, skills, everything that you've come to expect pretty much from a LinkedIn search. Now, why did we decide to go with this system instead of just pasting LinkedIn URLs, which is what, let's say, the industry standard is? So usually folks just paste the link and they assume it's going to work flawlessly. There's usually scraping issues. There's usually issues with either getting a preview or returning a lot of unstable data. We built out something that's pretty much 100% reliable 100% of the time. And it also really communicates the LinkedIn search in a much more direct way to the end user. So when you add your keywords, you have the option to making them either mandatory. So right now we're searching for someone that is a CEO or that has UI UX experience. We can say that they must be a CEO. So this has become mandatory right now. And we can say that they must not have any UI UX experience. For example, if that's the search we're going for. So you have the option to really narrow it down. So this search is looking for someone that needs to have this keyword in their profile, and it may never include this keyword. This can be really important if you're like a sales team looking to like really hyper target your audience, if you want to avoid certain markets, if you want to hyper focus on other ones, and it really levels up the search. You can still do this through LinkedIn normally, but the interface is very unusual, and there's a lot of arbitrary limitations to the number of logical operations you can do on LinkedIn search itself. And we just trimmed down the fat and allowed everyone to make high quality searches right in the interface. Now, in order to avoid scraping limits, you just have a preview here, but to get all 250 of your targets, you just click next, proceed, and have Aimfox load the targets. Now, one of the things that we will be implementing in the next week is just a quicker little load time here. So as soon as you get your first batch of targets, you'll pretty much be able to export data from these targets. You can simply click export, or you can remove them from the campaign if for whatever reason you found out a target isn't really a good fit for this campaign. So we can remove, let's say, these 5 targets. They are no longer in this campaign. They can be enrolled in other campaigns automatically now. So let's say we're happy with this. We don't need to wait for this to load all the way. This is all done in the background, so we can move on and actually build the campaign itself. So if you'll see this is going to be updated automatically over time. You have your keyword searches here, so you know exactly what the campaign is if you get interrupted and you need to jump back into it. And you can see the audience here it's getting updated while the system is scraping, and it's going a lot faster than the previous screen suggested. So we opted to go for a very streamlined sort of build that allows you to very easily set up the campaign. You have your campaign flow, which is the interactions you'll be doing. Let's add a connection note. You can just go with a friendly connect here, not the other placeholder that I added. You get a preview of exactly how the message is going to look like for up to 3 targets in the campaign. So this is all dynamically pulled up. You can edit the message if you so choose and add all kinds of variables. More variables are always on their way. And if we save this, we'll be able to see it update in real time here. You have the option to improve your messages with AI, which is being worked on right now. It just adds some variants to the message. It may add a sign-off. Since it's a connection node, that just makes sense to include that. And it always stays within connection node limits, no matter what you decide to do and how you decide to phrase your campaign. So it's foolproof when it comes to sending the message, meaning it's never going to fizzle out in case you go over the character limit or something like that. So it really just acts both as an enhancement and as a fallback that ensures that all of the connection messages get delivered, connection nodes. One more thing we have as well is automatic translate, which you can use if you want to have a message that's going to target a different market. Now, sadly, I'm targeting the US market here, so not a lot of translation going on between English and English. However, it's a very simple translation. It works flawlessly with the AI feature as well, meaning that you can easily create outreach campaigns for any language, and you don't need to leave the Aimfox app in order to do that. Now, after sending the connection request, you have the option to automatically follow up with a connection note. So you have inbuilt delays. Let's say this is sent immediately after connecting, so 0 delay. But we can add another one to engage our targets. Let's say a day and 12 hours in case we didn't get a response here. Let's say, let's just do a flat day to engage the target a little bit in a conversation after we connected with them. So you can add an unlimited number of these, really, but there's no need. Like, you don't want to spam people. We recommend keeping it up to 2, 3. Like, going anything over that is just spammy behavior, in LinkedIn or any social media platform doesn't really appreciate that. Moving on, we have the option to add your InMail. As you can imagine, this is just an InMail. So this is a free InMail that will be sent to all accounts that are open in this campaign. So if you set InMails, they're sent to premium LinkedIn users with open profiles. Aimfox automatically detects what profiles are open and then sends InMail to those profiles only, meaning you ensure that you're getting like the maximum number of daily actions that your account can do. Of course, auto translate and AI enhancement are available for InMails as well. Now, I just want to take like a tiny step back and show you a very cool feature we have as well. You have the option to create a split test. So this is basically your marketing 101 A/B test, meaning you can split your audience into 2, send one template to half of them and the second template to the other half. You can add variants here, variant 1, variant 2, something like that. And you'll see that they are completely different from flow to flow. At the end of the day, if you decide to test it out, your campaign will be running with 2 simultaneous flows going out, and you'll be able to collect data completely separately from them and make sure that you're always getting like relevant information that's going to impact your future campaigns. You'll know exactly what works, what doesn't. Some examples include like translating half of your messages and not translating the other half to see how well a specific market responds to that. Now, since we're done with the flows, one very cool thing we have is that campaign schedules are on a campaign level. So certain other software companies, they decided that schedules should be account-based. However, every campaign is unique, and this gives you a lot more flexibility on how you want to have the campaign itself work. Meaning, we're just going to, let's say, have a 9 to 5 for this campaign. And that brings me to one of our favorite, at least one of my favorite features of Aimfox. So you can actually have Aimfox automatically detect the target's time zone and send the messages within the working hours in their time zone. So if I'm targeting the US and I'm in Europe, the campaign is going to wait until it's between 9 to 5 in the US in the target's time zone before actually sending out a connection request or a message with this
That's so
setting.
smart. Love it. That's so smart.
Yeah,
Love it.
like generally this really boosts conversion rates, and especially for follow-up messages for in-mails, it's like a huge game changer. But like, we're not wizards, so if you know exactly what you want, you still have the option to choose a specific time zone that the campaign should be working in. Like, if you don't care about that, if you know, hey, I've got a set schedule that I'm working on, I want to make sure that I'm available to answer all messages, then I can just set my time zone here and it's going to send in my working hours. So both
Yeah.
options completely valid. You just choose what works better for you.
Yeah, I've actually done a campaign where we needed to send it between 9 to 5 UK time, and we couldn't do it with other tools. So this is very useful.
Yeah, for global outreach or for just working between time zones, like we're really proud of this. It's really something we worked hard on. Like, time zones are a nightmare. When I suggested the feature, I mean, the devs just looked at me. They were like, dude, come on, you can't do this. But we did. So I was right, and we're all glad about it.
I mean, it also, if I can just jump in, but like, you know, also like, yes, it does help with the international aspect, but it also helps just like if you look at the US, like, and when you look at the variety of time zones, if you want to do like a, hey, good morning, how are you message, if you want to do it between like 9 and 11, you know, you're going to have like, if you're doing targeting the whole US, it's still going to be a pretty big time frame. So yeah, so it's definitely a very useful feature.
Yeah. One more thing that you can add here, you can add like multiple timeframes in a single day. This is useful if you want to set your time zone, but you want to have like either a break in your schedule, or if you want to like start work until midnight and then from like midnight to 2-3 p.m. Like certain call centers, that's very important for them, and we wanted to include that feature as well. But moving on from the schedule, you just go, you review your campaign, and you're basically just able to see like a short summary of everything you set up. You have your audience, you know if you have translation on or off, you know what template you're using, if you've made any changes to the original template. This is basically just a reminder to know if you messed around with it. Since your stats for the template are going to be visible in the templates tab, which I'll be showing shortly. And for free in-mails, you can see if you're translating them or not, and you have a last chance to review your schedule. So let's say we're happy with this. You have the option to either finalize the campaign and start later, or you can just start it immediately. Since this is just a test run, let's finalize it and start later. You'll be able to see like the campaign itself, but you'll see that it's in the ready state. You can start it at any time if you want to start getting leads. Speaking of leads, we're going through, Aimfox automatically syncs all of your leads with the app as soon as you connect. So this is done in real time. You can filter out your leads based on all kinds of filters, even based on tags. So these are fully custom filters, or you can filter them out based on their source. Right now, I just have profile connections, which is just like the number of accounts that I'm personally connected with. But if I get leads through a campaign, they'll be showing up here. Now, My profile has been in testing for a while, so I have like a dozen new campaigns, deleted campaigns, it's been going crazy for quite some time. And realistically, you're probably going to see all of your campaigns right at the top, so you'll be able to re-engage those leads whenever you want. You can add tags, as you can imagine. So you can add, you can delete tags, you can add new tags. This is a typical tagging system. You've probably seen it hundreds of times, but there's really nothing to replace it for a lot of people and a lot of their workflows. When opening your leads, so you have the option to open your leads. Of course, everything's available in Aimfox here directly. Like you can go through their experience, you can go through their information, you can add some notes. Testing note for Jeff. You can add a note, you can add all kinds. You can delete notes, of course, later. This is going to come very handy with our Workspaces feature, which I'll be showcasing in a second. Of course, you have the option to go to inbox or, here's our conversation, and everyone can see that I had problems joining the meeting, which is a piece of personal information I'm not scared to disclose. And you have everything's integrated in full time, so like testing. There we go. So you should probably be getting this message any second now, but it's just the inbox. Like there's nothing too fancy going on here. It's just here. It works. You don't have to switch to LinkedIn to go to the inbox. You can add your tags here as well. If you're chatting with someone, you want to say that it's a hot lead. You can add that here immediately and add note, flawless host, and we're done. So you have the option to tag your leads in real time, excellent for conversions and great for working with your team.
Hey, Bozy,
Speaking
can
of
you go
work,
back to can you go back to that screen that had the information about the actual lead? So one of the things I just want to point out, or two things I actually want to point out to the audience here, when especially those that are probably going to watch this afterwards, is the amount of information that's available within Aimfox without you ever having to leave to go to LinkedIn. When I watch over the shoulder other people that are doing LinkedIn automation, LinkedIn outreach, things like that, there's always 3 or 4 screens that are open. Right, there's a screen that's used maybe for their communication. There's a screen, there's like 5 windows open for all the LinkedIn profiles they may or may not reach out to. Here, everything's in one place, and it's comprehensive data, which basically means you don't have to leave the screen. You can get all the work done in here. That to me is important because if I'm working with some of my VAs or some of the folks I'm outsourcing my outreach to, I only need them to work inside of Aimfox. I don't need them to worry about maneuvering through 15 different tabs or different platforms. And I think that's one of those things that may get lost. People don't notice how much work and effort goes into just getting that into Aimfox. That's not normal.
Yeah, exactly.
You're definitely right. Just like, and also a good thing to consider, like you mentioned, like VAs, and it's also like the security aspect. Because you can put everything, all of the LinkedIn accounts that you're working with, you can put them on Aimfox, and you can just give access to your team members directly to Aimfox without ever them having to touch the actual client's LinkedIn profile, if you're a marketer or if they're doing it for you. So it kind of like removes a little bit of that risk, and you just can have everything in one place. And just on top of that, like you don't have an actual limit of how many members you can add to your workspace. So it's not like we bill you per seat basis. So you can add as many teammates as you want, and you can of course manage the permissions that you give them.
Yep, and this is one of those things where it's essentially a business in a box. So if you were doing LinkedIn outreach for clients, this is the type of thing you need. You can't do it with some of these other tools. You need a tool like Aimfox to, it's a business in a box, and we love those in the lifetime deal world.
Absolutely. We had a lot of feedback previously that while other software exists, it requires you to have like such a high, let's call it a skill ceiling, and be so familiar with similar tools, or at least extremely similar marketing tools, that like the burden of required knowledge to actually get into that was just like at the level of where you might as well just have been using something else already. Like there's no like entry point if you want to get started with LinkedIn marketing, so with LinkedIn automation. And even if you're experienced, something like this for scaling your team, like there's no replacement for that, really. Like you want it to be easy, you want it to be intuitive, and you want it to be able just to be set up in a few clicks.
So
Um, mhm.
sorry, like our goal as like product builders is like to remove as much friction as possible from like the daily using and signing up of accounts. So, we do that by like making sure that like a marketer or a user can focus on what he needs to focus on and like leave all the back end stuff to us. Like we don't want you to worry about proxies. We don't want you to worry about how many daily interactions can my account do, and a bunch of other things. So we kind of manage all of that in the background to make
Mhm.
sure that you get the most optimal result. So yeah, I mean, it's all about, I believe, removing that friction and just making it as simple and as straightforward and streamlined as possible.
Exactly. Like there's nothing beats simplicity when it comes to this stuff. And we want the networking like burden, so to say, that's something that falls on us. Like you should be able to log in your account and just start working without worrying too much about like the finer details. Like Alex said, we have automatic limits in place to ensure that your account is staying within LinkedIn's limits when doing outreach, and it works flawlessly for every account. It includes emails, it includes connection notes. One of the things that, let's say, these campaigns, if you have like 10 campaigns running, your actions are automatically going to be divided between them, and they're all going to stay within the schedule. Even if you're using several different schedules, like even if they overlap, your account has hourly limits, it has daily limits, it has weekly limits, and we still ensure that you send out the maximum number of connection requests and emails and messages that you can to make sure that you're utilizing your LinkedIn account to the maximum capacity. And couple that with our ability to invite other members of our workspace and work with your team, you have the option of building a very scalable business model, even if you're an agency with like 10, 20, 50 people. Our workspace support right now is extremely straightforward. This is version 1. Just so we're clear, we're not satisfied with it in the sense that it's not complete. It's going to get so much better. Right now, you have the option to be a member of multiple workspaces. So let's say that I'm here on my subscription for my account. I have the option of inviting other members to join me. So I have Tamara and Damian with me right now. You can see that Tamara accepted the invitation as a member and that Damian is still pending. So I can invite as many people. There's no concept of seats. You can invite as many people as you want with no extra charge. If you have multiple accounts, you invite them to each account individually, meaning that you can decide what agent, what VA has access to what profile, and ensure that everything stays nice and secure and that everyone is within their right permission zone. So for example, even though Damian hasn't accepted an invite to my account, he has invited me to be a member of his workspace. So Damian is doing sales for Aimfox. He has a much more active account than I do at this time, since I left mine pretty much blank to simulate a new user onboarded to Aimfox for this webinar. But in Damian's workspace, I can see his subscription and I can see his billing history. and I can't really do much with members. I can just see that Damian is the owner and that I am a member. The same goes for campaigns. For example, I cannot change the name of this campaign as a member, and I cannot change its state. I can't restart it. I can't delete it. I can't do much of anything. Members have access to inbox, and they have view-only access to campaigns. Admins can create campaigns. They can view the subscription settings and get the invoices, but they can't change billing. They can't cancel subscriptions. That's still up to the owner. So you have the right permission set for any role that you need in your team. And we really thought this one through. I've been leading teams for CS and so customer support and customer success, and I've been leading our product team for the past 5 years. So I don't think there's any use case we left out. If there is, I'm sure you guys will tell me and we'll be happy to implement that. But this is just version 1. In version 2, which I'll be talking more about when we get to the roadmap and everything, but we do plan on having the option to have multiple accounts, multiple LinkedIn accounts on a single subscription working on a single campaign. So they'll be able to rotate around, and you are going to just be a admin managing 10 accounts, 20 accounts, 100 accounts, and having a unified inbox for all of them, and having a unified leads page for all of them, and just scaling your business through the roof. And this is one of the most exciting new features that we have in development right now, but more on that later. As for Aimfox itself, as for the product, this is it for the tour. So it is a fire and forget type of thing, meaning that you don't need to micromanage everything. You create your campaign, you monitor the progress, you engage your leads, but you don't have to worry about setting up a limit for every little thing that you do. You don't have to worry about proxies. We take care of that for you. We are a security focused company above all else. So our networking engineers have ensured that our proxies in Serbia are extremely secure beyond any reasonable doubt. And we will be having the option for global logins in the coming months as well, if you want to make sure that you're logged in from a specific location. So that has been already taken into account. And that's it for the demo, guys. I can go on forever about Aimfox. I built half of this, or at least I made the devs build half of it at least. So I don't want to take up too much of your time. We can move on to the next part, so to say, of the webinar. We can go through some other campaign types if you think that might be interesting.
I think there's a bunch of cute questions, Karan. So let's just
Yeah, I see there's like a lot of activity in the chat.
Yeah, excited people are, they cannot control it. It's like, let's bring it on. All right. We would quickly run through them, and we can have it. So there's one question from Jacob. So he's asking, can we do a Boolean search in designations such as CEO or CEO, which means can you target specific designations roles when you're searching for your leads?
You can target like the positions themselves. Let me see how we could do that. So let's say that we have a campaign. You can target specific roles, but you can work around that through keywords. So you can work around that by making CEO a mandatory search term, which means that they absolutely need to have CEO in their experience. If they don't have, they will not be returned. As you can see, everyone right now has CEO in everyone that's returned in the preview. If you can see, has CEO in their name, so in their occupation description. So that's one way you can very reliably target roles.
What the question is, like, and or kind of stuff. Like, we don't want you to have to type a string to be able to do that, because that's just unnecessary. We give you like a UI option to do it, where you can, like, as Božidar is showing now, you can click if it's mandatory, non-mandatory. So yeah, you have options to do that.
Yeah, and with this search, we want everyone that's not a CEO. Also, the bell, it looks like the icon is black, and this is black as well. So like the little bell icon is missing right now. We didn't just leave it as blank. And this will be fixed by the end of the day, pretty much. So yeah, you can very easily, you can consider this as if the search itself is saying and quote CEO unquote on LinkedIn people search. That's basically how this one works, meaning that it will absolutely require the user to have the target to include CEO in their name or in their profile.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Okay, there's one question from it's anonymous. So can we extract the numbers of a particular lead? No, I think numbers. Can you extract the numbers, phone numbers?
Phone numbers, I don't think we can extract phone numbers right now. We are working on, so right now we have the option to export lightweight data from leads when building out the campaign. So let's say in this screen here, let me just load these targets. So in this screen, you can basically click export to get some data on your leads, but this is being improved right now. So like the exports themselves, let me just see. Right now the export in this screen just includes their occupation, location, and a link to their LinkedIn profile. So if you want to grab a list of LinkedIn profile URLs, you can do that on the audience page. But for the leads themselves, we are actually building out an export for the leads page right now. It's on the roadmap, scheduled to release in the next month or so, I believe. So you'll be able to filter out your leads here, either by just going through the filters or selecting them individually, and then export all of the data available on LinkedIn. So phone numbers, I'm fairly sure they will not be available, but I can double check and get back to you guys to see if we'll be able to scrape those.
That's good. Oh, thanks for the detailed answer. Will leads in an existing campaign still show up on a different campaign? I mean,
no, that is automatically taken care of. So you don't have to worry about your leads ever being targeted by multiple campaigns. Like that's never going to happen. So if you create a campaign, add a lead to it, that lead can never enter another campaign. If you delete that campaign, it still cannot enter other campaigns. But if you never contact them, so let's put it like this: leads are locked when you connect with them or when you send them a message. If you just view their account, which is step one in the campaign flow, you can still delete that campaign and unlock them. But if you already sent them some messages or if you're already connected with them, then they will be locked in that campaign for good to avoid reaching out to the same lead multiple times.
Right. And I think it's Aimfox is also operating on a campaign level. So I think that also makes it easier. And then that will overlap, with others. Yeah, makes sense.
Yes.
Cool.
So like we've never had like a situation with that pretty much.
Got it. Makes sense. Okay, so we have a question from Sabi. Do we have integrations with HubSpot and Sales Navigator?
Right now we only have integration with Zapier. So you can Aimfox is available as a beta app on Zapier right now. You can connect there and use it to funnel any data you want from your leads or from your campaigns. Sorry. But for any other integrations, those are on their way right now. So Zapier at this time, later this year, will have other integrations as well. Some of the more highly requested ones are HubSpot, Salesforce, and
CRMs.
Pretty much, yeah, CRMs basically.
Yeah. But did you ask about Sales Navigator, I think?
Yeah.
So Sales Navigator is basically, so the current version of Aimfox is built like free user first, let's say. This means that basically every LinkedIn account, regardless of whether it's where they're paying a premium license or for like a Sales Navigator subscription or not, is going to be able to use all the features you see here. What we have in the roadmap is a Sales Navigator first integration. When somebody connects a Sales Navigator account, we're going to be able to identify that account, and we're going to be able to provide a specific set of Sales Navigator unique features that account is going to be able to capitalize on. So yeah.
That's awesome. And of course, you folks don't need to worry about it. So I think Aimfox will have more integrations as they go through, their journey. So that's amazing.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Awesome. All right. So, there's a funny thing. People have what we are seeing is people have more demands for seats. So they're asking out, can they buy 20 seats twice because they couldn't suffice the 20 right now. So what do you guys think? I mean, if so they have a question, if they buy it twice, do they operate in a one account, or how is it? Because there's a question.
So yeah, the question is if with one email address they can buy 2 times 20 seats and get 40 seats under the same email address. Honestly,
Yeah,
that's a
okay.
question for you, Boj. I'm not sure 100%.
And my guess is that's not built in yet. So Boz, don't be you're not under any pressure to say yes to that.
Yeah,
Just try
correct.
to answer the question. So
Yeah.
Just a second, guys. Sorry, I got held up reading the comment from Marcello for the webhook integrations. Those are definitely on the way as well. That's one of my personal favorite projects we're working on. Like webhooks will be available. It won't just be flat integrations with
Boj
the
deflected
CRMs.
the previous question.
No. I am here for the question. You can go ahead. Just repeat it, please.
all right, I'll repeat it for you. So we have a user that asked, hey, what if can I buy 2 lifetime deals so that I can
Yeah.
stack them? So they want to buy the 20 and then another 20.
Oh, that one's not on me. That one's for the marketing guys. I'm just here for the buttons on the dashboard.
Right.
Let's
play it like this. The answer is no right now. They're all separate. We don't want to create more development work for our friends here at Aimfox. But if something changes, RocketHub team will let you know.
Yep. You will hear from us. So stay tuned. Subscribe to the newsletter if you aren't yet. Okay. So we have a question from Vatsal. He asks, how can we configure how many requests it should send manually? He sees no option right now. It would be great if we can send account limits, account limits ourselves.
Yeah. So Boj, if yeah, because I kind of opened that.
feel
box.
free to go ahead, Alex.
A few minutes ago. So yeah, as I said, we want to kind of manage that part for you, so you don't have to play around with tweaking how much of what you can do. So all of that is done seamlessly in the background. And there is no option on the user interface to change the way that's being done. However, for power users, and I say this with a disclaimer, at your own request, you can write to our live chat team and you can ask for a more aggressive approach on a certain account. What they're going to tell you is, sure, we can do that. We can increase your daily interactions from X to Y. But then again, if you get an action block because you've done too many interactions in a short period of time, which is nothing terrible is going to happen. You're just not going to be able to do anything until next Monday. But if that happens, it's going to be on you basically. So yes, if we are, we don't say this publicly anywhere on the website or anything, but we say it to you. If you are confident that you want to push the limits on some accounts, you can ask for that on live chat, and we'll be happy to oblige.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. I think the team. Yeah, there's a question from Vatsal again. do we have a public roadmap for Aimfox? And are we getting dedicated proxies for each seat purchased in Aimfox?
Right now we don't have like a public roadmap because Aimfox is still very early in development, and gathering feedback and prioritizing features based on that is very important right now. Like, we don't want to go based on just our experience, since right now we're getting a huge influx of new users, and we want to see what's important for you and what's important for every single vertical that Aimfox is hitting. So what's important for salespeople, what's important for entrepreneurs, for recruiters, like for pretty much everyone, and then go from there. But we will have let's say, an estimated roadmap in the next, let's say, 2 months, once some more information is available. Now, with that being said, we do have a pipeline of features that are coming up. So those features include, as I previously mentioned, upgraded workspaces. So workspaces that enable you to have multiple accounts on one subscription, which means that you'll be able to have like a team of 10 people on one subscription. They all have a unified inbox and a unified leads system, and everything is pretty much going to be working flawlessly for multi-user support. So let's say you have 10 accounts connected there, and 5 of them are working on one campaign, 3 of them are working in another campaign, and 2 of them are on both campaigns. So everyone is going to have their limit set automatically. You'll be able to chat with all leads from all campaigns from one inbox. So it's going to be absolutely flawless. It's going to automatically cycle through accounts, and you'll have a lot of control on the campaign level, as well as on the account level, about how you want everything to work. So that's definitely the biggest feature coming forward, based on like the current version of Aimfox. Another thing we're doing is we'll have AI campaigns, which is to just say you'll have a window, you'll be able to type in what type of campaign you want. Aimfox will create a draft campaign for you that you can then edit further and basically smooth out the campaign creation process even more. That's going to be perfect for you, for first-time users. It's going to be very interesting for them. Another thing is, of course, proxies and security. Right now, we are working on global logins, meaning to say you can choose what location you want to log in from, but connecting your own proxies, that's also an option. We'll see the request for that and how secure all of that is. We wouldn't want people to be having some issue if there's like an integration problem or something like that, but that just needs to be tested thoroughly, since security is top of mind for us, even if a user makes a mistake themselves and it's not on our end. We want to make it impossible for you to compromise or jeopardize your LinkedIn account, even if, let's say, quote unquote, you did something wrong with the proxies. So just something like that. That's generally the approach we're going to.
Awesome. Yeah, I think
yeah.
that's a detailed response. Thanks for that.
Perfect.
All right.
So like for the roadmap, or if you guys have any questions about like features in development, I'm on LinkedIn, always open to chat. So don't be a stranger, everyone. We're here to really build a community around Aimfox.
Awesome. Amazing. Good to hear that. Okay, so there's a question from Yusuf. He asks, any plans to filter exclude based on checkboxes like no profile photo, or if they have under 500 connections, etc.?
Not right now, but that is an option. That's something we're considering to add, and we'll probably have some sort of smart filters for that as well. So like we already actually implemented a very similar system in our previous in some of our previous projects, so that's definitely going to be added very soon.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, one more question from Yusuf. Since one campaign limit for search is 1,000, if he wants to do, let's say, 10,000, can he do 10 campaigns with 1K limit each, with the same search criteria, and it will find different people for each campaign? Can we do that?
Unfortunately, no, since the search itself is capped from LinkedIn side. So let's say you do a search, CEOs in the US, you're going to get 1,000 results. And that's it. LinkedIn is just not going to let you scrape any more than 1,000 results. And that's why all campaigns are capped, not just on us, but on pretty much any LinkedIn software. There's a cap of 1,000 accounts for a search campaign. However,
unless you're Sales Navigator.
yeah, unless you're Sales Navigator. Exactly, Yusuf. So the maximum you can ever reach is 1,000, but you can be clever about this. So let's say you can divide the search. Into several smaller searches. So let's say you can search for CEOs on the East Coast, CEOs on the West Coast, CEOs Florida, CEOs Pennsylvania, CEOs here, CEOs there. Yeah. So basically imitate a fuzzy search, and that way you can create multiple campaigns and like broaden your impact or reach. My pleasure.
Awesome. Yep, that's a smart way of scaling. Yep, that works. There's a question from James. Is there data enrichment with Aimfox right now?
Right now we don't support that. But we are open to suggestions. So you can always send me your use case on LinkedIn and we can brainstorm a bit about it.
And there is
Yeah,
Zapier,
makes-
so you can, if you're free to play around
Yeah.
through it.
Yeah, makes sense. So I think if there was CRM connected, then I think with the CRM integration, it would be easy for them to add more data, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, makes sense. All right, there's a question from anonymous attendee. He asked, how can we bypass LinkedIn limits of sending connection requests? I don't think we recommend that. I don't know.
Well, we cannot bypass the LinkedIn limit of sending connection requests because it's not a question of how much we can do. It's a question of how much a LinkedIn account can do, any LinkedIn account can do. But what we can do is we can make sure that we send connection requests, but on top of that, we send free InMails. And those stack on top of each other. So people that get a free InMail, as Boj was explaining earlier, they're not going to get a connection request because we want to save those connection requests for those people who cannot get a free InMail. And if you were looking at his campaign earlier, I remember seeing like out of the 1,000 people, around like 200 could have received an InMail in that specific campaign. So it kind of helps us go through things faster, through numbers faster. So yeah, hope that answers.
Yeah. General limits are pretty set in stone by LinkedIn, but you have some wiggle room depending on your account. So like as Alex said, so that ranges from 100 weekly connections to all the way up to we have experience with customers that are able to do like 300, 400 connections a week. And it's not like they're like some extreme LinkedIn influencer. They simply get to do that because they're very engaged. We are playing around always with the limitations and letting you do the maximum possible number of interactions. One technology that exists there is the option to send connection request through a web app and through a mobile device at the same time. And that effectively allows you to double your weekly connections since those are counted completely separately. That's a very advanced backend feature, but we are actually planning on developing that in the next quarter or the quarter after that. It's going to be actually flat out invisible on the to the end user as well, but on the roadmap, we do have double all connections as a value proposition for the customers. So that will be included in some version of Aimfox. But other than that, you have InMails, and that's basically it. As if doubling is not good enough. But yeah.
Awesome. There's a funny question. I mean, someone wants to join your team. So are you guys hiring right now?
Right now we're very happy with where we're at, but always open to collab with someone. So if you think you could be a good fit, or if you have something interesting to offer, you can send us your CV, contact our team on the live chat, and they'll point you in the right direction.
Yep.
If we have an internal connection with LinkedIn team, then definitely join Aimfox.
Absolutely.
Hit him up on LinkedIn.
Yeah. All right. There's a question from Jeremy. He asks, is it possible to view unread messages?
Not right now. Actually, I'm not quite sure.
It's not, but it's something. It's something. It's a small thing. But yeah, if you want to do it, you'd have to do it through LinkedIn. So you have to go into LinkedIn and do it. But we are actually reworking. One of the things we're doing is we're reworking the inbox. So yeah, it's something that's going to be out in the next update. So I'm not sure of the exact timeline, but it's going to be soon. But yeah, right now you just go into LinkedIn and do it through there.
Yeah.
All right. Watson asks a question: how can I be notified once any prospect replies to my campaign or accepts my connection request?
Obviously, like when you go into the inbox on Aimfox, you're going to see like a notification, like a red bubble on like in the left right corner, and you are going to be able to see the unread messages. Also in the home screen, you can see all the accepted. You have like from an analytical standpoint, you can see all the accepted replies and everything you need to see, and you can also see that on a campaign level as well, like broken down. So, and if you were looking for like a live notification, well, you have few options. One is enable browser notifications. The other is going to be, well, if you're doing that from a LinkedIn account that you have access to, which you must, then you can just turn on notifications within the LinkedIn app, and just your LinkedIn is going to be going crazy with like accepted connection requests, notifications, and messages you got.
Exactly. And there is actually a relatively cool feature that we'll be working on soon. So this is actually being developed right now. So it's not just on the roadmap, it's being worked on actively. So we will have a section on the dashboard that is going to show you all the recent leads you gained from campaigns and what campaigns they actually came from. That's why there's this suspicious empty space here on the homepage, and it will be included in each individual campaign as well. And we will be developing some more notification types that are going to inform you about all the new connections or replies that you'll be getting through the app. Of course, with optional email updates as well.
Awesome. Yep, that's a detailed answer. Very good. So we have a question from James. When Aimfox is sending campaigns, does it just paste the entire text and send it off, or is it like LinkedIn Helper, where the typing of the text is simulated?
Well, I guess the clarification there is if he's talking about the initial outreach, there would be no need to try to simulate it at all because the person's never gotten anything from you. If the person has already replied, that probably would automatically stop the flow anyway, because now you as a human need to, So that question is kind of void.
Yeah, but it does
Makes sense.
It does point out something I forgot to mention when running through the campaigns. So when you send a follow-up message or a follow-up message sequence, as it's called in a few places on the dashboard, what Aimfox does is it puts your account in like a wait state until it needs to send a message, and then it puts it in another wait state until it needs to send another message, and so on and so forth. If you receive a response from your target at any point in time, while you're waiting to send them a message, they leave the sequence. It's done. You're not going to contact them. So you're never going to have a situation where you where you're chatting with someone and you send them a message. Like you hit up a automatic thanks for the connection while you're actively chatting with someone. So that's never going to happen. We detect replies as soon as a reply is detected. Then the sequence is stopped and no more messages are being sent out. So this is like true for all campaigns, and it's not even a setting you can turn off. It's just like the only reasonable thing to do in this situation. So that has already been taken care of by default.
Yeah, that's amazing. And of course, I mean, when we see the whole Aimfox setup, a lot of things are automated, which a user usually wants to control. So basically, that's actually protecting you from the start, so you don't fuck up, you don't get your account banned. All right, so that's a good safety for you guys. All right, so make sure like you grab this thing while it exists, at RocketHub. All right. So there's a question from Justin. Does the campaign support liking the post? I mean, can you go and like anyone's post automated like?
That's on the roadmap. Right now, we only support viewing, sending connection, or message requests. So message requests are only available for group or event campaigns, since sometimes you can message users in those settings. But for the typical campaign flow, you can just send a view, connection request, and a follow-up message. But we do have plans to add endorse, like, and follow as options as well.
Amazing. Cool. Okay. There's a question from Watsal. How can I create an email campaign where it just sends emails to open profiles? I can scrape profiles that are open and upload them as CSVs.
That's one way to do it. You can absolutely do that. So you can create a campaign. Sorry, I'm on Damian's account here. Also, since I'm like a super admin, I was logged in like 10 accounts at one point during the video. So if you ever saw my inbox load a little bit longer, that's because I was logging out of like 10 accounts on the back end. Not sure what the stream looked like, but it probably had some skeleton loaders. So you have regarding in-mail campaigns, you can either create it very easily through a list campaign. So list campaigns allow you to upload a list of URLs, so LinkedIn URLs. You just paste them here. Just paste the list of URLs automatically. Aimfox will automatically parse them, see if they're valid URLs, and if they are, bam, you're done. You're satisfied. Let me see actually, where is my account? So let's say I want to just send myself a message. There we go. Also, one more protection we have. I cannot put myself in a campaign. But let's
That's good.
yeah, I mean, kind of makes sense. But let's send a message here. So let me just you can create a list campaign with URLs, or you can also create you can just also create a normal campaign with connection set to off. In that case, Aimfox actually scrapes all of the Aimfox actually automatically scrapes all of the accounts and sends a email. So you don't have to worry about that. You have two options, either a list or a regular campaign with the connection set to off. So this is just going to send in-mails only. Or just set this to off and you're done. It's not going to send any connection notes. It's going to mine, let's say, 1,000 targets this way. It's going to mine 1,000 targets. Let's say 200 of them are viable for in-mails. It's going to send in-mails to those 200 targets. And after that, it is going to be, after that, it's just going to end and you can delete it. All of the other targets are going to get unlocked and you can just keep doing that over and over again. So very easy to set that up. So in this campaign, we could very easily we just have in-mails and you send only in-mails here. You see exactly how many users will be able to receive these in-mails. You have 55 targets and 8 of them can get an in-mail right now. So we don't have to wait for this to up to scrape all the way up to 1,000, but even out of 74, you have 9 in-mail targets. So around 10% users, targets usually have open accounts. So you can easily create a campaign and target at least 100 people.
Yeah,
for
but like if
free
you
in-mails.
target more like, for example, like what I've seen
Yeah.
personally, like if you target more executives and like CEOs and like high revenue type of people, then obviously they're like a lot of them are gonna have premium open accounts, and that number is gonna be, that percentage is gonna be like 30% or 40%. So yeah, just a pro tip.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right, let's see other questions. Okay,
We're
so
getting
we
through
have a
most of
question.
them. There's only a few left.
Yeah. So we have a question from Shrikant. Will there be an option to set up email outreach as well in future, as Closely does sending connection request or outreaching with LinkedIn and sending email from an email ID to the same prospect to have
So
multiple touch points?
yeah, so I'll jump in on this because this is something that is more on the long-term roadmap. Long-term, we are looking into email, cold emailing as well. However, we want to do this at a whole different level than other people in the LinkedIn space are doing it. So they're doing it on a lot lower scale. They're just like letting you, like, okay, like you can send your current leads, you can also send them in email. But like we want to create a solution that is more going to be in the realm of cold emailing and like cold email outreach. That's going to allow you to do things a lot more at scale. But again, this is like next year stuff. So it's not something you can expect well this year.
Cool.
Makes
Okay.
sense.
So I think we got through most of them. There's a few that are left, but we can answer those separately. But because I don't want to run over time, I think we've kept Alex and Bozy too long here. So we'll definitely answer all the remaining questions. I'm going to recap the one question that kept coming up for some people that joined late, which was around safety. So I will add this as an FAQ on the deal page. I will also put it in our Facebook group. But to summarize, again, it's built on safety first, right out of the gate. I mean, otherwise they wouldn't be in business. You don't need proxies. They already have dedicated IPs for every account. They have automatic limits on all actions, so you don't need to try to keep track of how many did you do of what type of action. It's set it and forget it in that sense. Just monitor the progress and reply. So they're tracking all the actions across the LinkedIn account, even overlaps, hourly, daily, weekly, stuff like that. Then they have protections against the members as well. There's enough user roles here, members, admins, account owners, things like that. So who has access to the inbox so people don't have to log in, log out to LinkedIn accounts. And in the near future, they will also have a global login. So that's 5 points right there, in addition to the overall architecture of just having guardrails in place so you don't screw things up.
Yeah.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Well said. I'm going to record this insert.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. We'll
I
cut
mean,
it
you're
up for you.
going straight to our help center honestly, like this clip is really like the first thing CS should be sending anyone that opens a conversation.
That can be like your first email sequence, right? Your first email, welcome email. How not to get banned. You get this 1 minute quick rant from Charlie.
Yep. But for everybody that did attend, thank you so much for spending over an hour with us. We appreciate that. We know your time is very valuable. And for everybody that's going to be watching the recording afterwards, which I already see many people in the Facebook group saying, please send us the recording. Any questions you have, team has been very, very active. So kudos to Alex, Bozy, Igor, who's on the Facebook groups. Kudos to them for doing such a great job at being awesome founding team. And I think everybody else just give a hands up, a clap, a few hearts and thumbs up here for the team at Aimfox. You guys are kicking butt.
I love Aimfox in the chat. Just type that, everyone.
Yeah.
So we want to see it. Just type I love Aimfox in the chat. I want to see like minimum 10 people writing that right now. All right, let's give it up for the folks in Serbia.
Thank you, guys. We really appreciate it. And I mean, thank you for obviously for having us. It's a pleasure. Because I mean, we are getting a lot of like useful feedback from you guys, and we're looking forward to scaling this with you guys.
Absolutely. Like we want to build something that not only we're proud of, but something that you guys are absolutely going to love and scale your businesses up like way more than we do ours.
That's the goal.
Excellent, guys. All right. Well, pleasure. And thanks so much for hanging out with us. Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Have a great one. Thanks.
Thanks so
Bye.
much,
Been a
Alex.
pleasure.
Boss. And
Bye-bye.
Igor, I mean, Igor asked me to like, I mean, I told Igor that I'll give you a shout out because you couldn't be here. So I said shout out to Igor. So yeah. All right. Thanks, guys, and
All right,
have a
I'm
great
off. See ya.
night,
Bye.
great
Bye, guys.
day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Been a pleasure.
Bye, boss.